That's fine. Yeah.
Sounds like I'm cool. I'm gonna sit here.
He's got it. He's got
Some
it.
bourbon.
All right, this is rebates. What do you think is the biggest recruiting opportunity that Starfleet is failing to capitalize on? Gosh. We are... Everybody has a different idea. We need to maybe try to get a uniform idea, and that's kind of why we're trying to get some uniform materials for you guys to use to get the message out on what we do, how we do it. If it's too hodgepodge, or somebody is, not willing to look somebody in the eye when they're at a recruiting table, for instance, we need to try to get, if you want to recruit, you kind of have to get trained in a way to know how to do it. And then once we get people who are in Starfleet, we need to retain them and figure out what they want to do from the organization. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
This is Steve Parmley. I believe what Starfleet is failing to capitalize on is networking. They're not getting, we had people run into this weekend that didn't even know what we were. So I believe that we need to network more and get the name out of what we are, because we had 2 members from the 82nd Airborne didn't even know what we were, and they were even interested in joining. But I believe we need to network more and be able to get our name out a little better than what it has, because the people that do know us know that there's a lot of political stuff that's going on, and unfortunately we don't want Starfleet to be named for political bullshit, and there's a lot going on.
This is Admiral Gundy again. What do you think is the biggest recruiting opportunity that Starfleet is failing to capitalize on? Flat out, point blank, advertising. We do not advertise. We can advertise cheaply, we can advertise over the web, we can even advertise on television, and we can afford this. It's very simple to do. All you have to do is have somebody who is willing to do it, and I am.
Our biggest recruiting opportunity that we've missed, this is Robert Westfall, I think it's ourselves. Starfleet, we can advertise. We've got an advertising budget. We can put it in program books, television, radio ads. You can run the whole sales gamut, if you will. But part of the problem is we spend too much time kibitzing amongst ourselves and telling our friends outside of the organization, or perhaps in other organizations, about, oh, have you heard the latest scandal? Have you heard, we promote our negative aspects. We don't promote our positive aspects. Several other science fiction organizations were formed by former Starfleet members because they were disgruntled by what went on here. But you go on to form another organization full of more people, you're going to run into the same thing unless you have some kind of dictatorial system in place that everyone accepts. But we need to rebuild those bridges in the science fiction community with the other groups and band together as science fiction fans, be it this different Star Trek groups, Battlestar Galactica, Doctor Who, whatever. Because we're all one united geek front, and we need to start acting like that. We are our biggest recruiting loss. Let's start promoting the positive things about Starfleet, our community service, our scholarships, our things like that, in whatever medium we're able to do it. And I think we'll get more people that way because we focus on the positive and not the negative.
Accentuate the positive.
See, I knew he was going to sing at some point.
We've actually run out of questions, but since we have about 30 minutes roughly left just to watch them squirm, anybody in the audience got a question?
Yes.
You know, the ideas you guys had about
Please
the two of
repeat
you.
his question when answering.
Yeah, I was mainly directed at these two candidates, Admiral Westfall and Admiral Gumby. The ideas you both had about membership management, I think was the term you used, right?
Yes.
And not database outsourcing, right? But membership management. What's the difference between what you're proposing in that area and what you're proposing in that area?
Honestly, I couldn't exactly tell you.
Some of
We're-
the question, please. In your
I'm
response.
sorry, he was asking what, in our, discussing the professionalization of the database and such, what the difference is between our ideas or the proposed platforms, I'm guessing, there are. Honestly, I couldn't tell you for sure. We have not looked in detail at member clicks, was it? Member clips? We focused on member leap after looking through a variety of others. I think there were probably a half dozen different professional member services organizations that we looked at before determining that member leap, in our mind, with the way it integrated with our financial systems, with the way it offered us a storefront that not only for the quartermaster, but for ICs, potentially for region summits and stuff, for membership process and everything, that everything can be processed through that one portal. So we don't have to use things like Eventbrite or things like that where we're charged fees. We're doing it all in-house. You've got the database that you tie in to the website. It is all interlinked and is much easier to use. And the fact that when we do have a problem, which will happen, I don't care whether it's something that we have designed and are monitoring or a professional company, you're going to have problems with a big database. You've got so many moving parts that will happen. But you have a professional staff on hand that you're paying for to do this. And it doesn't matter whether they're on vacation, because if Bob's on vacation, Stephanie's there to fill in while he's gone to fix these problems. And that is an advantage of that, is you're not relying so much on an integral part of Starfleet on a volunteer. And that's not putting down any of our volunteers. But the fact of the matter is we have lives and jobs outside of this. And for something this important, I feel, and I would imagine that Gumby and his team feel the same way, this is something that needs to be outsourced to people that this is what they do. We still retain full control over our data and everything, but they're the ones that build that database. They look at us like, here's what you need, these are all your, they set it all up for us. We get it all populated, we use it, they maintain it. So I don't necessarily know what maybe minute differences there might be between the two platforms, but I believe probably in the end they both probably serve the same, if not pretty close to the same purpose.
Member Clicks and Member Leap are competing companies. They do the same thing, exact same thing, actually. We looked at Member Leap.
Okay.
We didn't think that Member Leap we didn't think that they were involved enough to be able to fit our unique needs, basically. It all comes down to, we have grown to the point where some of our jobs are too large for our members to handle. And membership processing is one of those areas. This is an area of Starfleet that deals with hundreds of packages being physically mailed out every week. Those packages have to be assembled, they have to be verified, they have to be mailed, they have to be logged, receipts have to be tallied, the whole 9 yards. What MemberClicks does is it takes that off of our shoulders, which will in turn allow our volunteers to have more fun doing what they love to do, not the ungrateful jobs that we need to have done. So what we do is we outsource, for lack of a better term, this to a professional corporation that does this for a living. Then, if we have any problems, we don't have to risk losing a member by coming down on them and saying, hey, do your job. We go to somebody that we pay money to and we say, you're fired. Either you do your job or we'll find somebody who can. It's just that simple.
And that, just to chime in a final comment there, that may be, again, I have not looked at member clips, so that may be where the major difference is. Member Leaps is a member management association software. I mean, they handle the database, they can tie it into the website. And they can process the members, as in, you fill out the fields, you click the little thing, how you want to pay for it. They will process the member. But when it actually comes to what Starfleet refers to as membership processing, when it comes to the packets, MemberLeap does not do that. We still have to have the volunteers that will, if you've chosen to have the paper certificates or whatever sent to you, they will still have to stick it in, we will still have to stuff it in the envelope and send it out. But the front end, where you go to the website and you go to join or go to renew, and then make your choices as to what kind of membership type you want, with what you want mail, what you want email, or whatever, that they all handle. You'll pay for it right there, register for IC on there, however. But when it comes to the actual putting your packet in the mail, we still have to do that. We would still have to have a volunteer for that.
Whereas member,
The biggest thing that MemberClicks offers is something that we don't currently have. This might surprise you. We don't have a current way to communicate with our members. We don't have a master email list of 4,800 people that we can sit down and type out an email. MemberClicks will allow us to do that. And it only costs $1.50 per member per year, which will allow us to lower membership rates. We're predicting between $5 and $7. No more international members paying more money to be a member of Starfleet. It's one flat fee for everybody.
Does it? Supplemental question on that, specifically about what you were talking about, your member leap.
MemberLeap, MemberClick. Leap Click.
Is that $1.50 fee covering the actual production of the package?
No, no, we still do all that ourselves.
Okay, so this is where it's
The,
still,
the per member breakdown that he's referring to is basically, for example, I will use MemberLeap. MemberLeap, for example, for an organization of up to 6,000 members, would essentially cost Starfleet $3,600 a year. That's what it would cost. So the breakdown he's referring to in like $1.50 per member or $1.75, whatever it works down to based on the platform you get, is what, if you look at your membership fee of $5, $7, $10, whatever you want to call it at that time, $1.50 of that $10 is paying for the database software for MemberClicks. The same would be for MemberLeap. It's basically just taking a breakdown of what you pay for membership. Because it used to be your $15 covered your membership packet, your communique, all that stuff that was sent to you. Well, we don't have all that now, so everybody's going, where is my money going? Well, it's going to the infrastructure of the organization. By not having to communicate anymore, going more electronic with membership packets and stuff, theoretically, and I believe it's more than theoretical, but right now, since no one's been elected and the AB hasn't approved anything, it's still all theoretical. Your slice of the pie of that membership, of that, say, $5 that you send in to renew or join Starfleet, $1.50 of that is paying for the database management system and the website. Then, maybe another 50 cents of that might be covering the production and postage of your membership packet if you choose to have your certificate. And then maybe, another, 50 cents of it is covering the domain registration fee that we have to pay all the time. That's what he's referring to in the $1.50. It doesn't have to do with the actual production and sending out of your thing. It's just what part of your percentage of your membership is paying for what. So you understand where your money's going and what it's being used for.
And under my plan, we will return that money to you in savings on your membership.
Right.
so what you're talking about reducing big, and then, is that a firm figure, $5, or is that just to be a ballpark?
In between 5 and 7.
Okay, so.
We just got access to this year's budget yesterday, so
Right.
we need time to crunch those numbers.
Right, what I'm looking at, very AB thinking as an RC, is what does that do to our membership package? Are you shifting more towards a purely e-pack with the?
It does nothing at all to the membership package. It does not affect the membership package one iota. The membership package still has to be printed by a Starfleet member and mailed by a Starfleet member.
Okay, because that's why I was thinking when you get your flat rate, that's what's confused me, because once you deal with international postage.
The only international postage that we would incur is for the cost of mailing one paper certificate and one ID card. Because under our plan, there will be no more family memberships. All memberships will become primary memberships.
Okay.
All right, since we can't take any more from the audience, we're gonna give everybody a chance to wrap up here, so if Reed, you would start, and we'll go straight down the table. Really not gonna put too much time limit on this for your closing statement, but roughly we've got about 20 minutes, so make them count.
Okay. Oh, sorry. This is Reed Bates. Our website is teamcoolchange.org. We have a extensive platform on there, so and you'll get up our website in the packet. Other highlights: we have a huge amount of ideas for the ICs, the international conferences. How do we look at them? The attendance is dropping. But really, ultimately, what we do at the international conferences in the future all depends on you, the members. Are you happy with what is going on? Okay.
Not you, Reed, I'm sorry. We could hear them
Okay.
on this. I was trying to
Okay.
not cover
All
you
right.
up. I'm sorry.
To me, the ultimate idea about international conferences and whether we should change them is if all the members are happy with what's going on and we don't lose our shirts on the cost of an IC, then maybe we don't need to change things. But we do need to look at would more people come if we piggyback on another event like a small mini conference? Maybe we won't. Maybe we does anybody want to try to get Star Trek guests? They're expensive. Who's going to pay for that? We would like to survey you guys and ask you guys what your preferences are for the international conferences. What else have I not covered? Just vote for us. Thank you. I know. Sorry.
I want to reiterate, like I said earlier, you have 4 good candidates up here. Excuse me. My name is Stephen Parman. You have 4 good candidates up here. I'm not going to say vote for me because I'm new. I have a better perspective. I do want you, as the individual voter, like Robert says, 25% of people actually vote for the CS. We want to get as much membership out there so they can actually see what the campaigns are. They can see how the people are. They can interact with the people. Just use your best judgment. Don't vote for somebody because he's been in the AB for 20 years or she's been in the AB or I'm new to the AB or EC. It's all about what you see on a campaign thing. What do you think would be the best thing? And I've seen all 4 campaign things and they all look good. But you need to use your best judgment on what you think, what you should do. The main thing is what we are wanting to do is we're wanting to make the members first. You have a lot of members that feel like they're neglected. There's a lot of international members I have talked to over the last 3 weeks and a couple over last night. It does not matter if you're international members. It does not matter if you're from Ireland or you're from England or you're from the United States. It's all family. It should all be treated accordingly. It should not be feeling, if you have members that feel like you're being neglected, that's something we should look at. But like we all said before, this is a family. Families bicker, families fight. But in the end, it's all us. We all have to do something.
This is Admiral Gumby again, and unlike others, I am seeking your vote. I do want you to vote for me because I believe that our team has what it takes to fix the problems that this organization has. We are the only team that is doing. Everybody else is talking. We're putting up communique articles online. It's called starfleetcommunique.wordpress.com, and it is Subspace, the Starfleet News Network. And for over a month, we've been putting articles from different members of Starfleet online, and it's in an easy blog format. You can just go and click on it and scroll and scroll and scroll, and there's all kinds of stuff there. There's stuff on Star Trek Beyond. There's stuff on chapter commissionings. There's stuff on recruiting activities. There's stuff on the boring financial aspects of Starfleet. It's all right there. The other thing we've done, we formed the Starfleet Corps of Engineers to add to our affiliated programs. Just like the Starfleet Marines and Starfleet Special Operations and Starfleet Medical, now we're actually going to have a Corps of Engineers. I've spent 24 years in Starfleet. I started at the ground and I worked my way up. I've served at every level on this organization. I've been on both the EC 3 times now and the AD twice. I know what I'm doing. Hopefully, y'all will trust me to do that for you. Thank you.
Unmute.
This is Robert Westfall, and I approve this message. It was getting a little too serious in this room, sorry.
Yes.
I do want your vote. I want you to participate, and I'd love for you to vote for me, but please participate. My team is focusing on the corporate aspects. While it may not be fancy like Members First, it's not meant to dissuade or discourage members. We're not pushing you to the side, because without the members, the association and the corporation don't exist. But the corporation has to be straightened out in order for the fan association to survive. We're looking at ways to do that. I'm not going to make you any promises that we're going to be able to fix anything. I'm not going to promise you that we're going to be able to get member leaps or anything any more than anybody else can promise you anything else like that. All I can do is propose to you the best solutions that my team feels will work for Starfleet. But much like the president faces, we still have to have them approved, not by you, but by your representatives on the board of directors. I think member leaps will work great for us to get us some professional database management, where we can take a lot of that burden of getting the database up to date, keeping it up to date, maintaining it, yada, 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 because I'm not an IT person, I don't even want to imagine what they all do. But taking that off the backs of our volunteers and putting it in the hands of people that we're paying to maintain it, to use the different aspects of a fully functional database that we can, as even Gumby said, that we can use the whole list of emails to contact our members, to see what's going on, to get rid of some of the things that cost us money that we don't need to spend in order to make your experience more fun, more pleasurable, to attend ICs, things like that. To get us back to using general accounting principles on our financials. I'm not saying, and I've never said that our financials, that we're running out of money, but the problem is that we have gotten too lax in what we've done. It's become too much, well, this is the way it's done, so I'm not changing anything. That has to change. We need to be, as EC members, as CSs, as members of the board of directors, we need to be better stewards of your money. It's why we proposed initially the a la carte platform for your memberships. By going to a database, by going and giving you the option of the type of membership you want, we can lower membership rates to $5 a person. Still keeping family members at the little incremental setup, but then you as the member decide what you want to receive, if you want to receive anything at all. Some members, they click on there, they're not worried about even getting an electronic copy of a certificate. It's not that important to them. But if someone wants an electronic copy, if someone wants a hard copy of a certificate, if you still want a hard copy of the bylaws or handbook, or you want a flash drive of documents because you've got a really slow dial-up connection or something, you can get those. It might cost you a little extra to cover the cost of the item and the postage, but you as the individual member are the one that make that decision. The cost is not spread out amongst everybody that doesn't want that. And it doesn't matter where you live. If you're in Canada, if you're in Texas, if you're in Ireland, if you're in South Africa, it's the same rate. Because if you're wanting something mailed to you, you're going to pay the postage for it. So we don't have to worry about the mass costs of international and domestic mail postage. You members choose what you want, not just as a member, but in the organization by choosing the leadership you feel best reflects what you see as the future of this organization. Team Westfall Tool feels that we are that. But in the end, the decision is yours.
I'd like to thank all the candidates for participating, all of you for coming, and feel free to harass them throughout the weekend. If they weren't up for it, they wouldn't be taking the job. Thanks for coming, folks.
Now I can go warm up.